Hello and welcome to your Unit 2 Assessment Instructional video. This unit we've been really focused on the particles, the forces, and the processes that occur in the nucleus of the atom. So what we want to do is take all the information we've learned and use it to develop representations of changes in the composition of the nucleus of the atom and energy released during processes of fission, fusion, and decay. So let's focus on how we're going to go about tackling this complex learning target. The first thing that we need to understand is how we can actually develop that representation. So what we're actually going to do, your task is going to be to create a stop motion video, and that stop motion video is going to become that representation of our nuclei. So here's how it's going to work. Stop motion animation video is an animation technique that we use that's going to make a physically manipulated object or person appear to move on its own. So think back to when you made those little flip books when you were a kid with your little stick figures. How are we going to do this? Well, the first thing you're going to do is actually create your model. From those models, you're going to create your presentation, and then you're going to record and comment on that presentation that you've created. So let's go in depth a little bit more about how this is going to work. The first thing you're going to do is create your model. Now you can do this in a bunch of different ways. The first way is you can actually draw. So you can draw a series of images that are going to show the different processes that you are discussing. You could use physical objects and you can manipulate them. For both the drawing and the manipulated objects to create your models, you would also need a camera to take pictures. Or you could create slides of your processes as well. In order to create your presentation, you can use either PowerPoint or your Google Slides, and basically each slide needs an image, and you can adjust the transition time to allow the presentation to look as though the objects are moving. Now, we're going to use a screen capture software called MoveNote in order to help us record your video. So let's take a look at MoveNote right now. The first thing you'll need to do is go to MoveNote.com and you need to add MoveNote to Gmail. This is going to pop up. You need to click on this plus button, free, go ahead and add it, and now it's been added to your Chrome extension. It should show up right up here. So when you click on that, it's going to take you, you have to choose an account, make sure that you choose your school account here. And this is what it looks like. You can see that it's going to record your image here, and here's where you're going to add your slides. So you can actually upload from your computer if you've created your presentation on PowerPoint, or you can upload from your Google Drive. I created a little fake one. Here it is, stop motion video using PowerPoint. So it's going to upload it and convert it. Wait. Now, once it's converted, and you're ready to record, all you do is hit the record button. There it goes, 3, 2, 1. And you can go ahead and start your slides. And as it's moving, you can go ahead and discuss the processes that are occurring as your stop motion animation video completes itself. Anytime you want to pause and take a break, you can hit this button. You can resume it by hitting the resume, and it will continue to record right where you left off. When you're ready, you hit save and preview. It's going to convert your video. Once your video is converted, you can actually watch it, and it'll show what you did when you were recording. It'll show the actual video itself. Here is the link. You can email the link. You could share it here, or if you don't like it, you could go ahead and delete that particular MoveNote and start again. I'm going to go ahead and delete it since that was a fake one. Alright, so that's how you use MoveNote. Let's continue on with a bit of understanding more about what our project is going to look like. So we understand how we're going to actually go about developing those representations, creating the models, making the presentation, and recording the video. But now we got to figure out, well, what's actually going to be in our presentation. You need to focus on two things. First is the composition in the nucleus of the atom. So not only do you want to focus on what's happening with those protons and those neutrons, you might also want to focus on what's happening to the stability of the atom during the processes. How is the mass changing? How are the forces changing? The strong force, the EMF, how are they affecting the process? And what does it look like before versus after? Do we have the same number of total particles here as we do in the end? So those are all things to consider when you're trying to understand and explain the changes in the composition of the nucleus of the atom. Now, the other part that you need to focus on is the energy that's released. So you should focus on the amount and the kind of energy that's released in each of the processes you're going to discuss. So, which processes do you need to think about? Well, there are 3 nuclear processes that we've learned about in this unit, and you're going to need to discuss all 3 of them. So you'll need to discuss fission, and you'll need to discuss the changes in the composition of the nucleus and the energy released. You'll need to do the same for fusion and for decay. Now, you're going to be using a storyboard to actually plan your project. So the storyboard is going to look like this. In the boxes here, this is where you draw or sketch or describe the images that you're going to use. So in my first image, I need my little Pac-Man and I need its food. Okay. On the lines, this is where you're going to write your script. So what are you actually going to say during that time? Then you can draw what's going to happen next. Oh, it's getting a little closer, and here's my script. This is what I'm going to say during my video, and you continue through the whole process. Now, your storyboard doesn't have to have every single frame. When you actually make your stop animation, you're going to have many, many more of these frames that you're going to be using to make it look like it's actually moving. But your storyboard only needs to have the big ideas of the different processes that you're going to create. And then here is again where you can write your script on these lines so that you know exactly what to say and when during that recording process. I hope this was helpful, and good luck on making your presentations.